With Jackie Toboroff. She is an author and she is a journalist. You should check out her Substack, Supermoms Activated. She is also in New York City, born and raised there, ground zero. Of course, we have the mayoral race there. Mamdani is kind of in the lead as of right now. It's Mamdani really versus Cuomo. We have Bloomberg, who just donated $1.5 million to fix the city. Jackie, give us the latest as what's happening. I think it's going to go down to the wire, right?
So what's happening now is the Cuomo has narrowed the gap to within 10 points. But we should really understand the larger picture here, no matter what happens, whether Mandani wins or Cuomo ekes this out. And that will really be contingent upon high voter turnout. I really encourage everyone to get out and vote. Just a reminder, Zohran Mamdani won his assembly seat in 2020 with only 346 votes.
Mm.
So no one knew who he was. No one took him seriously. No one is laughing now. Critical turnout, high critical turnout. Very key. So what I think the bigger picture here is that the Democrat Party has been completely absorbed by DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. And what the DSA is it serves as an organizing mechanism, a get out the vote machine. We saw them spring into action and use CUNY, NYU, and Columbia as headquarters to really help elect Zohran Mamdani. And we've seen them do this throughout college campuses across the United States. So what happens then is these candidates like Zohran Mamdani run on the WFP, the Working Families Party line, which is the registered party. And what happens is that doing this pulls the Democrat Party further to the left. So then people like me, when we go to vote in this mayoral election, I voted for Cuomo. This is someone who I would not have normally voted for, but we're now in a position where we are really trying to just stave off Sharia and Islamism and not mainstream a Democrat Socialist of America member or a Working Family Party candidate.
Yeah, and I think we need to have this conversation about DSA and WFP. You and I started talking about this months ago, and people, like when I did a profile on what's happening in Georgia, which you and I are going to talk about, people were like, I had no idea what WFP was, DSA. So WFP, guys, is what you would see on the ballot, right? You would say this candidate is running under this Working Families Party, which there are 750 Working Families Party candidates across 23 states. That's what I have here. And DSA, what Jackie was saying was it's get out the vote. So you make a really interesting point. So they were basically campaigning at at our colleges, like you said, CUNY, which makes sense as to why Mandami has so many young people who are voting for him because he's offering all this free stuff. Who's going to pay for the free stuff?
Right. So his core demographic are Muslims and people between the ages of 18 to 25. And then just after that, it's south of 40. So we are really seeing really our education become kind of like a PAC, a political action committee, in terms of how they are operating and really helping these progressive candidates.
Okay, so let's talk about because whatever happens, right? Whatever happens in New York is going to happen in New York. But foreigners are actually helping in elections all across the United States. Talk about the statistics that you have for New York City alone.
So for New York City, American born New Yorkers are with Zoran 31%. And this is compared to foreign born New Yorkers who are with Zoran 62%. Now, if you look at who is donating to Zoran's campaign, I think the New York Post broke this story that he has received $13,000 in foreign illegal cash, including from his wife's mother in Dubai,
Mhm.
as well as 170 contributions from outside of the United States. This is illegal. So we very possibly could have foreigners electing the next mayor of the largest municipal city in the nation.
And let's talk about what's happening across the nation. We have Minnesota, Georgia, as I mentioned, Roy Roman. People can go to my social medias and they can see they had that coffee meet and greet, and it was I guess people from bunch of people from the Working Families Party, right, Jackie, who are all there up and down, like from assembly to city council to Senate. So WFP is taking off. Get to know who they are, guys. You have to really understand what's happening.
You know, you bring up Georgia, and I just want to say Georgia, which is a swing state, a battleground state, is really bracing for a tough time ahead due to demographic shifts. Again, like so many of these places, Georgia, the woman that is running, Roman, has links to Working Family Party, as you said, and Working Families Party has expanded. And one of the places it is very interested in is Georgia.
All eyes on Georgia. I mean,
All eyes on Georgia.
we really should be talking about Georgia, like you said, swing state. Even though President Trump won Georgia, what was the margin there?
I believe he won it by 2%, and I think he was the first Republican to do so in a very long time. I have to go back and check. But you know, it's definitely it's not safe. And I think that really, look, you have no voter ID in New York and California. So we know illegals are voting, right? We also have the motor voter law, right? Which says that people can go to the DMV, get a license, and also be registered to vote. So there's a lot of stuff happening. And this is in combination, again, with people coming here who are not American. Look, just because you naturalize does not make you American. I think we're seeing this with Zohran Mamdani.
And you know, Congressman Randy Fine from Florida, he basically, just introduced a bill that basically says if you are going to be in Congress, you should not be a dual citizen. And he said, on top of that, he said we should look into denaturalization and look at what's been happening in the United States for the past 30 years. And he basically is saying a lot of these people may have been lying on their applications.
So I think, well, I think so, and I think that's the case, right? In Zohran Mamdani's situation, where he meets the federal criteria for being denaturalized. Um, it's an interesting situation because President Trump has done such a great job at sealing the border and beginning to get rid of these illegals. But the other real issue here is there are so many people that have come here, again, not only illegally, but who have come here without any like desire to assimilate. And they are voting in people that do not represent the Judeo-Christian American ethos. And so we have to ask, like, what percent of these cities and these places are really American? And who are these people that are voting and serving us? How are they serving us if they're dual citizens?
And some people watching this might say, "Well, Jackie, America is a melting pot. This is how it's supposed to be." And I don't think you're saying that, you live in New York, Ellis Island is close to you. You're not talking about, immigrants in general. You're just saying that yes, there are immigrants in this country, but a lot of them just didn't assimilate.
Actually, the thing about a melting pot is what is supposed to come out is an American. It is not someone who is more gleeful to hold a foreign flag. It is not someone who burns an American flag. It is not someone that does not know our history. It is not someone that rejects our history, wants to tear it down and replace it with communism or Islamism. So a melting pot is supposed to produce an American with American values. What is a good American? I mean, seriously, this is a conversation we should be having. What is a good American?
I mean, yeah, let's have this conversation. I mean, you have people like Zohran Mamdani who won't even denounce, globalize the intifada. And you have a whole generation of younger people who are like falling in line with this rhetoric, not understanding historical facts at all. What is an intifada? It's an uprising.
Well, what about his mother? I think since we're talking about what is an American, I think his mother actually said that he's not even an American, or he doesn't consider himself an American. He considers himself a Ugandan. Um, you know, is this really someone that Americans want representing them? No, the answer is no. Foreigners want him representing them.
Yeah.
This is really what we're dealing with.
T minus a couple days to go. What do you think, Jackie? What do you think? How is this going to turn out? I saw the flyers that were in Lower Manhattan. I had some people sending me them. People can find them on my social media, and it was talking. It was basically like vote no for Mandami. Did you see the flyer? I posted it on my social media. It was
I
basically,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
did see it.
basically Mandami hates America, Mandami hates Christians, Mandami hates Jews, Mandami hates police, the military. Wake up, NYC, vote Cuomo. I mean, it is panic time in New York City right now.
It is panic time. I mean, President Trump has told us the federal gravy train is over, and Zohran Mamdani wants to expand sanctuary, give everything away for free. I mean, the issues go far, the issues go far beyond just being a pro Hamas supporter. I mean, the
Oh, yeah,
issues really are rooted in communism, and
communism. I was
we've
just about to
never
tell
seen
you that.
it work.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
we've just
well, I'm from the former Soviet Union, and my parent, I was a little girl when we left, but my mom is like, when her and I have these conversations, she's like, free grocery stores. And she's like, do they understand what this means? She grew up in communism, okay? Um, it's not fun. And then you take a step back and you go, do these people realize who's paying for all of this?
Well, I think the Americans don't understand what it
Obviously.
means, but I will tell you what he probably understands. And when I say he, I mean Zoran. He is the face of the revolution. I mean, that is really, look, they are looking to foment chaos. The point of the Red Green Alliance isn't to figure out infrastructure and figure out getting people rent stabilized apartments. That's actually not at all what it is. It is to bring forward the revolution or the Antifada or some other, hellscape that we all have to live under. So this is the Red Green Alliance's plan. It's the revolution. And that is why nothing about this really makes a lot of sense because it's not supposed to make sense.
Yeah, and that's why we keep talking about this, and we want people to get familiar with WFP, DSA, because whatever happens in New York, it's not going to stop. Okay, if Mandami gets elected, it's only going to get continue, but it's not stopping in Minnesota, in Georgia, and other states, 23 states. So watch this very closely. Jackie, we'll be continuing our conversation. As always, thank you.